Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Not sure when you'll be doing this, but whenever it is, I hope it's been a good day for you. You've survived week 1. Today is the very last day. It's a day when we take to review the 4 things that we've talked about this week. And you have a slightly longer than the other assignments. It's a review assignment. And do it carefully. Go back, look in the notes that you've written. Go back, look at some of the videos if you need to. We'll talk about just a quick review video here on how do you know, are you adding, are you subtracting, are you multiplying, and when do you change exponents, and when don't you change exponents, when do you just combine like terms. We'll talk about each of those in this hopefully less than 10-minute video. I hope it's going well. Again, if you need help, drop me an email, leave a message on Teams. I will reach out to you. We will connect some way. All right, I hope you're doing okay. All right, so mix it up review week 1. Is it adding, is it subtracting, is it multiplied, and what do I do based on that information? So I just have 6 example problems I want to take a look at with you that are similar to those that you'll be running into on your review. So I have 3a, believe it or not, that's a 3, I'll rewrite it and make it look nicer. 3a parentheses a squared minus 5. In front of the parentheses, is there a plus sign? No, so it's not addition. In front of parentheses, is there a minus sign? No, then it's not subtraction. When there's no sign there at all, that's when we're multiplying. So it looks like a distribution problem, and you know I love my loop-de-loops. The other thing I really like is if you don't have an exponent on one of your variables, give it that one so you don't forget. When you multiply, you're changing your exponents, and you're combining those exponents together. So I've got 3a to the first times a squared, and that leaves me with 3a to the, what is 1 plus 2? Right, to the third, minus my second loop-de-loop, 3a to the first times negative 5. 3 times negative 5 is with that negative 15, and a to the first stays a to the first, and you can write the exponent there of 1, or you can leave it the way it is. With or without is a-okay, but you've survived number 1. Number 2, negative x squared, oops, I'm going to make that a cube, negative x cubed minus 2x minus parentheses 3x plus 4. So reminder from the last problem, we looked in front of the parentheses. So I'm looking right here. Is there a sign there? Yeah. What is it? It looks like a negative or a minus sign, so we're going to dig back in our memory from subtraction. That was your day 2. So if this problem seems confusing to you, you can go back and look at your day 2 stuff. So with subtraction, I leave the stuff in front of it the same as it was, negative x to the third minus 2x, and then that sign in front of parentheses, if it's a minus, has to become positive. I had a teacher once who always said, you're not allowed to subtract polynomials, you're only allowed to add them. So change subtraction to addition, and then all the signs after become the opposite. Remember, subtracting is the same as adding the opposite. So 3x becomes negative 3x. Plus 4 becomes minus 4. And now, you remember those 3 letters I wrote next to everything on that day 1 and day 2 stuff? CLT, combine like terms. So negative x cubed has no partner, so I'm just going to tag him along for the ride. Negative 2x minus 3x. Negative 2 and negative 3 together give me negative 5. We're just combining like terms, so exponents don't change here. And looks like I'm only left with a negative 4 who has no partner of another constant, so you just tag him along for the ride. You survived number 2. Number 3. All right, I always looked in front of the parentheses. Now you're going to say, which parenthesis? Well, it's usually the second set of parentheses that we're concerned with because that's the one that's either being added, subtracted, multiplied. So what's in between it? Oh, there's nothing. So it's not being added because there's no plus sign. It's not being subtracted because there's no minus sign. So we're in multiplication land. How many things are being multiplied? Oh, both of these are being multiplied, the a and the 5. So this is where we had double distribute. So a times a squared, a times negative 5, negative 5a. You may remember me bringing the loops underneath for the second number, 5 times a and 5 times negative 5. This is where I wrote the letter CLT. Before I move on to that, please make sure you remember you're multiplying 5 times -5. Some people will randomly cancel those like you're adding them. We're multiplying. So 5 times -5 is that -25. Now I can combine like terms, but I've got a little bit of a catch. I have a -5a plus 5a. Hey, look, they cancel. If they cancel, you just don't write them. And you're left with a squared minus 25. Number 4, you're halfway there. W plus 4 plus -w minus 4. And if you aren't writing these with me, please take a moment, pause it, write them down. Doing the math will help you remember the math more than just watching me. If we could all learn math by watching the math teachers, we'd be amazing at math. All right? That's not the way we learn. Sit down, do it on paper and pencil if you want to. If you're really brave, hit pause after I write the problem and do the problem and then see if you get it right. Not a bad idea for a review day. Hey, what's between the parentheses? A lovely plus sign. If there's a plus sign, you're allowed to do everything, so you're going to go straight to combined like term land. So w and -w are like terms because they have the same exponent, same variable. W combined with -w, that's weird, that cancels. Kind of like the 5a and -5a over in number 3. 4 combined with -4, I'm going to give them a double underline since they're like terms. And what is 4 minus 4? Oh, another thing that cancels. What's your answer when there's nothing left? What's the math word for nothing? Oh, 0. It happens. Number 5. Oh, I'm going to go to a new page for this. Remember, anytime you need to, hit a pause, get caught up, do some math on your own. I'm going to turn the page, but for the first time ever, you have control with how fast or slow I go. 3x squared minus 2 times x plus 5. How's it attached? What's between the parentheses? Is there adding? No. Is there subtracting? No. There's nothing in between there. So we assume that it's multiplication. We don't use that x anymore. So, double distribute because there's 2 things over here that are attached by multiplication. So 3x squared times x. If you need, drop that 1 in there so you don't forget to change your exponents when you're multiplying. 3x squared times x leaves me with 3x to the 3rd. 3x squared times 5 is plus 15x squared. My loop-de-loops on the bottom, -2x, -2 times 5, -10. I didn't line anything up this time. There was nothing to line up. None of my exponents are the same. I have x cubed, I have x squared, I have x, and I have no x at all. You're done. That is your answer, because there are no like terms. So you cannot combine anything together. It happens. You got to be okay with it. I have one last one, but I had one other thing I wanted to talk about too. This brings it back to day 3. Monomial times monomial times monomial. We're not going to distribute because there's no adding or subtracting in front of the parentheses, inside of the parentheses. So we're just going to multiply my big numbers, my coefficients. So I got -2, -1, if you want to sneak that one in there, you're welcome to, and 5. So -2 times -1, that would leave me +2. +2 times 5 leaves me with 10. I see I have a base of m, that's the number holding onto the exponents. I have m squared, m cubed, and m to the what goes there? Ah, yes, a 1. So 2, 3, and 1 together give you m to the 6th. Now, the only other thing I wanted to talk to you about, we'll call it number 7, since that's what comes next. What if I have 3x minus 2 times x plus 5? How is that different from number 5? What is different? No parentheses, right? Oh, maybe I should put squared there. So there's no parentheses there. So the only number that's attached by multiplication is just that 2. So that is the only thing that gets distributed, not that 3x squared, because that 3x squared is attached by subtraction. So we are not going to distribute that 3x squared. Hold yourself back. If it's not in parentheses, hold yourself back. So I would have 3x squared would just tag along. Negative 2 times x, negative 2 times 5. Gives you a little bit of a different answer because that middle guy here, 15x squared, is not in the answer here. So just be on the lookout for that. Just little tricks you run into. Good luck. Fare thee well. If you need me, drop me an email. We'll get in touch. I hope all is well. Take care.